Hi, it's your sewing shop Shana, and I'm going to attempt to repair, well, I know how to do this kind of repair, but on a computerized sewing machine where you're not supposed to crack into the case. I have never done this before, but this is how it's going down. At it, there's this edge right here, and then there's the foot that's going pretty much off to the right from the back side. So anyways, when you're sewing with a foot like that that isn't parallel to the edge of your feed dogs, it has a wicked pull to one side. Like you're like, I can't sew straight. So if you can't sew straight, this might be the problem. I've taken out pretty much all of the screws, and I'm going to attempt to take the back off now. Okay, so I was able to square it up by just strong-arming it with a pair of pliers, but that does not give me any confidence in this foot, because if I could do that, it's going to undo that at some point in time. But for now, it should start sewing straight because it's not at an angle to the feed dogs. Okay, now I'm squared up. It's squared up, but if you can tell, you can see that I have feed dogs showing on this side and no feed dogs showing on this side. So it's square, but it's not centered. Okay, so I'm trying to fix this, but the feed dogs themselves are freaky. Like, they're not even. You know, you see that? The feed dogs themselves. So if you are using feed dogs that aren't machined properly, they're going to influence the foot to start torquing in a different direction. And then you're going to be chasing your fabric, and then you're going to think you're a bad sewer. But you're not a bad sewer. The feed dogs are not made right.
So the moral of that story was that perhaps you can sew straight, and perhaps it's your machine that's not letting you. Now here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker. So if your feed dogs are at an angle to your foot and you don't recognize it, and you're pretty sure it's you that needs to practice your sewing, so you practice and you practice until you can sew straight, then you're going to get on somebody else's sewing machine and you're going to start sewing crooked because you're going to be compensating. And that's what I'm talking about, like sewing machines having personalities, and that your sewing personality develops alongside of your sewing machines, because your sewing machine is training you on how to sew according to how it was built. I mean, I sometimes think my sewing machine has a real personality and I have a conversation with it every once in a while, but honestly, it probably is just a sewing machine. And you're dealing with the parts and the labor that put those parts together. So check to see that your foot is in line with your feed dogs, and if not, if you just buy your sewing machine, return it. If it's computerized, it has that seal you're not supposed to get in, good luck. Like, I just cranked it with a wrench, but I really, there's probably another way of doing that. The only other option I can think of is going to a professional, and who knows, they might just take a wrench and crank it. If you have a vintage machine, you can get it on the back side, loosen a screw, handle it, or an industrial. Anyways, keep on sewing.